Bonjour, this is Holly, and you're watching The Wrestle Gamer on WGS-TV.
You have warped your way into another episode of WGS-TV right here on youtube.com/WrestleGamer. I'm the WrestleGamer, Double B Bujo, and this is going to be the NXT Rival review. And guys and gals, like I've said, NXT has been one of the biggest selling points, in fact, a saving grace for WWE. And, would this show be as spectacular as NXT TakeOver Our Evolution was? Well, not as exciting, to say the least, but it was still a very good show. We'll get to what we're talking about in just a minute. Let me introduce the panel for the NXT Rival review. First off, ladies and gentlemen, he is the host of Hardcore Wrestling Radio. He is the hardcore one himself, Rick Head. Rick, how you doing?
I'm doing awesome, with the exception of, again, it's snowing, but I'm not going to bitch about that any more than I've already have over the past couple of weeks. However, I do want to say before we get into this review, I've only got up to the Prince DeVitt and Prince Neville match on up, so I did not see anything before that, so I really can't make any judgment calls.
Alrighty then, and ladies and gentlemen, he just put on a copyright patent for the Tug Toner. He's our resident music mogul over on youtube.com/LanceMossTV. He is the incomparable Lance Moss. Lance, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, and I also want to send a big HWR and WGS-TV congratulations to Cody Hawkins, who just got married today.
Yep, guys and gals, so let's go ahead and get to the first match. Hideo Itami and Tyler Breeze. Now, the way they set this match up, it was after the matchup with Itami and Finn Balor on WWE.com. I think Itami was attempting to do an interview where he gets attacked by Tyler Breeze. And first off, I'm going to say, what poor white tiger did he have to slaughter to make that outfit he was wearing? Anyway, that's pretty much how they set up the match. It was an attack by Tyler Breeze backstage, and so then we have this match. Now, this matchup really wasn't bad per se, especially for it being kind of an impromptu match, Lance. But again, with NXT being as good as it is, it was still a really good match.
Yeah, even though I didn't see it, I kind of came in about halfway through the show, but yeah, you have Selfie Boy, so yeah, sure.
He actually had a selfie stick last night. He actually had a selfie stick covered in fur. That was unreal. But anyway, the no disqualification.
I wonder, I wonder if Seth Rollins has been taking any ideas from this guy.
Oh God, do we have to bring that up again? I thought we talked about it enough on the Monday Night Raw review.
It's gonna be going all week, guys. So.
All right, and unfortunately, guys and gals, we did see get a message from the incomparable Lance Moss. He's had to step out due to some unfortunate timing. So, but we'll save that explanation for another time and another date. But anyway, guys and gals, up next was the no disqualification match between Bull Dempsey and Baron Corbin. They've really been kind of riding this feud just a little bit. But I will say this, for a no DQ match, they really didn't use too many weapons per se. There was some usage of the steel chair that I really liked, and the finish is what I really like. I would like to know how they actually worked that out. It was Dempsey coming at him with the steel chair, and then somehow Corbin kind of maneuvered his way into the end of days finisher and picks up the win. So that's like the third straight win in a row for Baron Corbin over Bull Dempsey. I wonder how many times they're going to have Dempsey lose to Baron Corbin before they decide to say, hey, enough's enough, the end of the storyline, let's move on. Following that, the NXT Tag Team Championship. Rick, there were so many rumors. Let me go into what the match and then what the rumors of what I heard. First off, the matchup, it was Lucha Dragons getting a rematch against Blake and Murphy for the NXT Tag Team titles. Again, NXT talent really, really good. The finish of the match, Blake would hit a frog splash on Sin Cara to pick up the win, and so far So now still the NXT Tag Team Champions are Blake and Murphy. But Rick, the rumor that I heard, and I hope WWE and NXT are not doing this, because it kind of falls around the same vein as the Mighty Mouse gimmick rumor that's going around about Adrian Neville. The rumor gimmick that's going around for Kalisto, Sin Cara's tag team partner, is that he's going to go without a mask and be a gay hairstylist.
I've heard the similar rumor. I've heard that Kalisto is going to be going there. They're going to be dyeing his hair, like I believe bleach blonde, is it?
I think so.
You know, that's just the WWE for you. They have them go over to NXT with these great gimmicks and these great wrestling styles, and then they bring you over to WWE and say, well, everything you learned at NXT, completely forget about. Now we're going to bring you up to Raw, and we're just going to make your career into shit. And I hate to say it, but, well, I can't say into shit, but we're going to make your career into whatever we want. It's either going to be shit or it's going to be great. Now, we look at Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose, who are the Shield, and they have done great, great things. Then you got other guys, you guys like Fandango, where he did nothing. You guys got right now, and I hate to say it, you had a great team like the Ascension. NXT was awesome. They would be dominating, and now you got them over here now, and they kind of look like, I said it before, like LOD crack babies. And I really don't like the way they're looking, but they're starting to give them a push. And I don't think if they got rid of the LOD shoulder blades and the LOD face paint, they probably would be accepted a lot more. You know, it's what they're trying to do. They always try to make them to something that they're not, and it doesn't work.
Finn Balor and Adrian Neville, the finals of the NXT Championship Tournament. And I got to say, Rick, hands down match of the night. This matchup was just absolutely unbelievable. The spots that these guys were doing were just amazing, Rick, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely, absolutely. We did talk about this last night on HWR, and I have to give it to Prince DeVitt, as I like to call him, and Adrian Neville. Both guys really did shine. You know, there are possible rumors that just said that Adrian Neville is heading up to the WWE. We heard about that horrific gimmick that he might be taking on, but hopefully it's not as bad as we're making it out to be. Is this his exit to go on? Who knows? But now I'd like to see where Finn Balor is now the number one contender, and we know, we'll talk a little bit later, what this means for him.
The NXT Women's Championship on the line, Charlotte defending against Bayley, Sasha Banks, and Becky Lynch. Now, we kind of had the assumption that WWE was finally going to pull the trigger. They were going to drop the title off of Charlotte, but the question was exactly who it was going to be. And one thing the Studley man Ashley kind of brought up, and I think you kind of brought it up as well, is that the other two women's wrestlers, I don't want to call them divas because I think that would be disrespectful to what they're doing. Women's wrestlers in the form of Becky Lynch and Bayley weren't really involved in the matchup per se. It was more along about the main angle between Charlotte and Sasha Banks. I think that's what you were saying last night, Rick, weren't you?
Absolutely. Don't get me wrong. I personally don't care for Bayley as a wrestler. I think her gimmick, she has a great gimmick that sells, but as far as a wrestler, I think she still is very has a lot to work on. As far as the other wrestler, I still don't. Her name still completely eludes me.
Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch, thank you. She impressed me a little bit. I still think that she can be a contender over time. She did a few nice throws, and I was very impressed with her. But again, I think the person to take the title definitely, was
Sasha Banks.
Sasha Banks, thank you.
Now, let me ask you this question, because we've been talking about exit moves for NXT wrestlers into the main roster. Do you feel now that with Charlotte dropping the title to Sasha Banks, that this would be Charlotte's exit move to Monday Night Raw?
A lot of people are talking about that possibility. Do I think that's the case? I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, that's the guess. That is a lot of people's guess. But we thought that Adrian Neville was going to be leaving a while, but who knows? I mean, right now, if you think about it, Charlotte does have another shot. But if you looked at the hug and then the push, that could be it. That could be your exit. Time will tell. It's the obvious that's the obvious next move for her. So she has all the right moves to be what you want to call it, a WWE diva.
Well, yeah, you definitely are right on that one. And finally, the main event, the NXT Championship on the line. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, El Generico, Kevin Steen, whatever you want to call it. Tell him later. I'll talk to him later. So I'm sorry about that, guys. Somebody was calling me for me, but I'll take that call later. Now, a lot of people, when they looked at this match, Rick, and I know that you're one of them, and I know there was a lot of them. Even Lance probably was one of them as well. That a lot of people were under the assumption. I keep saying that phrase during this review, but again, it was just something that everybody was kind of anticipating that they wouldn't have Sami Zayn drop the title. Now, it did happen, but again, I think we might need to talk a little bit about the manner. We need to talk a little bit more about the manner of it, about Kevin Owens repeatedly power bombing Sami Zayn to the point where the referee actually had to stop the match and actually awarded the championship to Kevin Owens. Rick, what was your reaction to that?
I was shocked. I thought that somehow that, this is going to end in a DQ. I'm like, because obviously you saw how he took that massive bump on the outside. Now, some thinks that might be kayfabed. Some thinks that was obviously just a bad spot. I'm a little bit 50-50, but obviously the rest of the match was obviously scripted or kayfabe, whichever term you want to call it. But as far as what was set up, I really thought I was going to think that, you know what, he's going to keep on beating on him, and the way the ref just kept on pulling him away, usually you see the ref, do the 5 count, and that's it.
Yeah.
And as, they kept on saying, even, I think Andy was on the call with us, and he's saying, they're going to get DQ'd, and I'm like, oh. So, and that's when I realized he was possibly right. He kept on saying, because there's going to be a title change. You watch. There's going to be and we were all saying, I think the only one, the son of a bitch Andy, called it. He goes, watch. They're going to switch it. And lo and behold, they did.
Yep. NXT TakeOver Rival, needless to say, guys, was indeed a spectacular show. Overall score is going to be a 4.5 out of 5. Another great successful show from the NXT brand. Best match of the night, you guys already heard it from me. Finn Balor and Adrian Neville. Again, these guys just went all out in a fantastic match. Finn Balor comes out on top, and we kind of got the assumption now that, again, I keep saying that on this review, I don't know why, but now we can actually properly assume that from now on, whenever there's an NXT special, Finn Balor will break out the body paint. And I really don't have a worse match of the night because the rest of the show was just absolutely spectacular as James from Big Easy finally decided to pull himself away from the hamburger statues he was making in the Hudad Temple. James, now we're already to the part of the show where we're going to overall scores and our picks for best and worst match of NXT Rival. And since you're here, well, James, your overall score and your picks for best and worst match of NXT Rival.
My overall score is a 4 out of 5. The best match, I'd say, would be the number 1 contendership final tournament between Finn Balor and Adrian Neville. Those two, just the fact that these are two of the futures of the WWE roster, and that's how awesome they put that match together, and basically all them close calls for each of them, and that was like. It was a great match. The worst has to go to the no disqualification match because I felt like that was lackluster. Best best honorable mention. Yes, I'm stealing MVP's gimmick and have an honorable mention. Best honorable mention has to go to Sasha Banks, winning the NXT Women's Championship in that Fatal 4-Way, because, though she is, like, I feel like, she has that bad girl gimmick that, you have to grow on, and she improves week in and week out in the ring. The worst honorable mention has to go to that tag team match, because it wasn't as impressive as the last few times the Lucha Dragons fought on NXT TakeOver.
All right, finally, let's go to Rick and get his overall score and his picks for best and worst match or segment of NXT Rival.
Well, again, excuse me, as I am going strictly on the 3 matches that I saw, I got to give it a 5 out of 5. All 3 matches were absolutely phenomenal. I got nothing really bad to say. NXT, as you said earlier, is the saving grace of WWE. Sorry to mark out, but you know what? These guys are showing what the WWE could do right with the company if they chose to. Now, obviously, I believe that the son of, the Studley man Ashley said earlier that right now these guys are not probably working as much as the WWE talent is, and they're trying to show that maybe they should start working on a week-to-week basis, and maybe they should. But you know what? Either way, these guys really they just shine. And if the WWE doesn't want to do that, then I don't know. Then they need to up their game somehow or do something.
Right here.
We want to know from you guys out there, the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on NXT Rival. What are your overall scores? What are your picks for best and worst match or segment of NXT Rival? We definitely want to know what you guys have to say out there. Make sure you put your comments in the comments section below. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. Where can fans check you out on HWR?
Of course, you can always check us out on our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio. We're also on HardcoreWrestlingRadio.com, and anytime you want to check out any of our shows, check us out on YouTube, Daily Motion, and also catch a ride on SoundCloud.com. Just look us up under HWR Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, the number 5 commandment in the Hudad Temple is thou shalt always tug thy toner. It's James the Big Easy. James, you got anything coming up?
I will kill you with that duck that I have saved for you. Anyway, I am on twitch.tv/fatboy504. And I apologize for when I was doing my review, my overall scores, and I had the camera down. I forgot to turn that off. But yeah, I'm on twitch.tv/fatboy504 where I do gameplays on the PS4. And I am on Twitter at fatboy504. And also, I have a YouTube page, JTD70129, and I have a full review of what I thought of NXT TakeOver Rival with the Bay Area MVP known as Will, and it's up right now actually. So
fans, don't forget to follow the Facebook page, facebook.com/WGS-TV, and don't forget to please subscribe if you haven't already to youtube.com/WrestleGamer. So with that being said, for the incomparable Lance Moss from Lance Moss TV, James the Big Easy, and the hardcore host of Hardcore Wrestling Radio, Rick Head, I'm the WrestleGamer. Noble people Woodrow saying thank you very much for watching.
Hey, the next statue is going to be the duck, and it's going to be right in front of your doorstep.
That's what it looks like.